how nice my hair actually looks today. We love when our hair doesn't look terrible. I've had a bunged up nose literally all day. So I'm just getting real close there. So, you know, sorry if I sound a bit nasally. Okay, so it's cleared quite a bit, but you know, don't want to jinx it. Hi, a bit of a delayed hello. It's me again, your returning queen. I'm here to rank all the movies I saw I didn't see all of them in 2019, but all the 2019 releases that I've seen. I don't have that much time, so I don't watch a lot of films outside of like the sort of the must sees. I don't think I watched any Netflix films from last year, to be perfectly honest with you. I'm not really into Netflix films, I'm more into their TV series. So let's get into it. By the way, be prepared, there's no like art films, there's no Parasites, there's none of them. It's basically just all the biggest movies from last year, plus a couple that I saw because I saw them. So, number 15, worst film of the year that I watched was It Chapter 2, and I'm really, really sorry, because I didn't want that to be the case. I didn't want that to be the case. I really didn't. I really didn't. But it was just bad. It was so boring. It was a boring horror film that tried to thrive off of the remnants of the first. Did nothing new. I just didn't like. I think I would finally say I didn't like it. I didn't like it. Number 14. Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker. Okay, thing is, I will say most of the films on this list, actually all of them, I enjoyed. I did enjoy Star Wars, but unlike all the other films on this list, after I left the cinema, I was like, I enjoyed it, but on the briefest of reflections, it completely falls apart. And I definitely enjoyed it the least out of all the movies. So, films. Sorry, I'm a film studies student. I don't say the M word. Films. It's a victim of circumstance as well. I mean, the actors try their best, but they can't help that the middle film of the trilogy was directed by a different person, the tragic passing of Carrie Fisher, the fact that they've been making these movies up as they go along. Like, the things weren't looking good for this film. And so it's at the bottom. 13, Hobbs and Shaw. So really all the films from this onwards were like decent. Like they were fine movies. Films, I mean. The problem with Hobbs and Shaw is it's just a bit shallow. It's Hobbs and shallow. Like again, it's kind of it's probably cheesy, which is enjoyable in the moment, but it doesn't do as well on rewatch. It's kind of like, yeah, when I know the joke's coming, the film loses a lot of it. And it's got the same ridiculousness that Fast and Furious has. But as much as a lot of people and I make fun of the whole, it's family. Oh, family, family, family. I've now realised that doing a Fast and Furious movie without the family aspect brings it down by quite a lot. Like, this spin-off of the Fast and Furious franchise, I would say I probably prefer at least half of the Fast and Furious movies compared to this one. At number 12, we have Zombieland Double Tap. Again, it's a similar thing to Hobbs and Shaw, that the more you think about it, it doesn't do good on rewatch, but it is especially in the first half, it is really funny. I think as the film goes on, it loses a lot of its charm, and I think it's inferior to the original film quite easily. It's definitely not as good as the first one. And I think, considering how it's been 10 years since the first one, I think it didn't live up to expectations. Oh, and I thought, Little Rock kind of being sidelined throughout the whole film was really odd to me, and I think it suffers because of it. Like, I'm glad that everyone came back, but it's not a bad film. I feel like putting it this low down, people will be like, you hate Zombieland Double Tap. I don't. I just don't love Zombieland Double Tap. And I saw Zombieland Double Tap with my friend Tim. I think he shared similar opinions to me. I think he actually might have liked it less than I did. I don't know. That felt like a long time ago to me. Number 11, we have Maleficent, Mistress of Evil. I'm a sucker for Maleficent. I like the first film, even though it has a lot of flaws, and I like the second film, even though again it has a lot of flaws. I think pacing is a bit off, and I think again, sort of Maleficent, the titular character, kind of separating her and having her be a sort of a B plot in her own film, wasn't a smart move. But I thought Michelle Pfeiffer was good. I thought Angelina Jolie was good. I thought everyone put in good performances. I thought it was a funny movie. It was surprisingly funny, actually. Funnier than the first one by a long shot, because the first one was trying to be a bit more serious. There are funny scenes in the first film, but like this one I felt was more like, yeah, here's a funny line. I thought it was pretty to look at, though. It was really a beautiful film. And again, like a lot of these films, I reviewed them on my blog and I was like, I enjoyed it. It was a good popcorn movie. I ate some popcorn. Did I eat popcorn? I ate something. I ate a snack. I ate snacks and then I enjoyed myself. Maybe not the best critically, but it was good. And I watched that with my dad because my stepmom loves Maleficent. And it did have a really, even though it's not like a new idea, it had the joke of when she was like, pull yourself together, and then you could then she like dabbed her eye to get rid of a tear. And then my absolute favourite joke of the film, and as I'm not going to re-review it for YouTube, I thought I'd just have to tell you this is my favourite bit of the movie, is when I think Maleficent something along the lines of like, oh, he's human. And Aurora's like, I'm human. She's like, I've never held that against you. I thought that, I swear that my brother has this game on his tablet. If that goes off, I'm going to have to do something about it. Number 10, this might be a controversial one. Spider-Man Far From Home. I didn't like it that much. I liked it. It was fine. It was good enough. But I feel like I saw a lot of people going, oh, it's amazing. Oh, it's better than Homecoming. Well, I don't think it's better than Homecoming. I think Homecoming is quite a bit better than this film. Quite a way better, actually. It was all right, and I feel like there were twists that were good in it. I liked how it has Far From Home linked back to, like, the first Iron Man and Iron Man 3. I do think, but then on the opposite side, I think Iron Man looming over this film, like a literal, like, skeleton, like, clinging on. Like, just let Iron Man go. Like, this whole film is just Spider-Man is sad because Iron Man died. And yes, I get it. I didn't care. Oh, but Jake Gyllenhaal was amazing as Mysterio. I also thought Nick Fury and Maria Hill's inclusion was honestly not used great. And no spoilers, if you've seen the film, you know why. But I just thought it was a waste, to be honest. Number 9. Angels Fallen. Okay, that's why I forgot, because it's the most forgetful film on the list. Okay, it was actually better than I was expecting, especially as I've only seen bits of Olympus Has Fallen, or I've seen the whole film and I've forgotten most of it, and I've only seen the last 10 minutes of London Has Fallen that I caught when it was on the telly. So I was going into this like, I don't know who you are or what's going on. I still think it was surprisingly good for people who haven't seen the previous films. It worked out fine. And this kind of film, it's usually hard for it to impress me. It's like sort of action thriller, I guess. But I thought it was very well done. Like, again, it's not my genre. It's not a genre I go, oh yeah, lovely. But it was very well done. And that's really all I can say about it. It was a well-made film that engaged me and had a couple really funny bits, although I do think sometimes the funniness was a bit jarring with the seriousness. But number 8, The Lion King. So, I'll be clear now, like when I reviewed it on my blog, I'm judging it as a film. So as much as I would love to give it a really low score for being a CGI version of the animated film, with nothing new added to it. Like, I really want to give it a low score, but it's actually still a good film. That's the thing. It's still a really enjoyable film. It's still a good film because they've just remade almost word for word, shot for shot, a good film. And the visuals, it was entirely CGI. And when I watched this with my boyfriend, he was very impressed when I told him it was completely CGI. And I also was impressed. Like, sometimes I was like, did they get a real lion on set? And some of the voice work was really good. Scar was fun. And you always love James Earl Jones. So, number 7. I feel like have I lost track? I feel like I've numbered them correctly. Number 7. This is going to be a controversial one. I'm delighted. Charlie's Angels. I know. Imagine my surprise when me and my boyfriend, for the lols, we were just like, oh, we want to watch a film while we eat dinner. And we put on Charlie's Angels. So he's familiar with not the original Charlie's Angels, but the last generation. So he had a different perspective to me. And we will actually, I know, if all goes to plan, we should be releasing like a little joint video called Shits and Giggles, where we just talk about random shit and then we giggle. And we'll probably I would think, talk about Charlie's Angels there. So, you know, I'm not reviewing that film because I can't fit it into my schedule. And, like, I don't see the point. And also, I think it's a film I don't think I could make really, like, a long review of it. So I don't really see the point in it. So, link below. Well, when it comes out, link below. But yeah, I thought it was really good. Surpassed my expectations, was really good. Sad that it had a pretty shitty trailer to go with it, for the most part. And the marketing was generally a bit shite. And I'm sad that it bombed, because I think a sequel would be really cool. But yeah, that's my number 7, so mic drop. Number 6, Aladdin. I'm a Disney whore, I'm sorry. I'm not gonna lie, I really like the remake of Aladdin. It was a good mix of staying true to the original while also adding a load of new stuff. Naomi Scott, she's got back to back. She was in Charlie's Angels too. Naomi Scott is a gem, and I'm hoping that Charlie's Angels' abysmal box office doesn't hinder her career. But she's probably gonna, I would assume she's gonna be in Aladdin too. So hopefully, fingers crossed, things aren't over for Naomi Scott. Mina Massoud was a really good Aladdin. Abu was great. The only problem with that film is that Jafar is the only distinct, he's nowhere near as good as the original. So the top 5, little shameless self-promo here. I write and co-edit for a magazine called Student Life. It's England. It's currently in sort of like Suffolk, but it's kind of branching out into like Kent and other regions. So I can't remember, it was like December, January, probably, must have been January. I wrote an article at my top 5 films of 2019. And although they're in a different order, because I wrote that like a month ago, my opinion changes really quickly. The actual, the 5 films in the top 5 are the same. So, because of that, I'm quite confident these will probably remain, at least for a while, my favourite films of the year. So, let's get into it. Number 5, Captain Marvel. Now, I originally put this number 2. However, I've rewatched it since then. And although I rewatched it and was like, I actually really still enjoy this, did think about it and go, yeah. But, like, it's not my second favourite of the year. It was still really good, though. I don't really get the hate around it. And also the hate is what helped make it, get to $1 billion worldwide. So, fucked it up there, didn't you? But Brie Larson was really good as Captain Marvel. I'm kind of worried because I don't think she was using Endgame, which I'll get to in a minute. My voice broke. I'm hoping she continues to be good, but at least in this film, I enjoyed her. Number 4, Avengers Endgame. I was debating which one I preferred, Avengers Endgame or Captain Marvel. I had to settle on Avengers Endgame because it does, for the most part, there are bits I don't like and I still think the time travel logic. I have come to terms with the time travel logic. When I first watched it, I was literally like, cannot compute. I've come to terms with it. It makes more sense than it did, but it is still a little bit dodgy in some areas. I'm like, but apart from that, for the most part, it manages to successfully round off 10 years of films, which is so difficult. Like, I have to commend it for doing that. And it has some great scuff. It has some great stuff with Natasha. It has great stuff with Clint, as much as I never want to see that man's face again. Google what happened with the actor whose name I shall not speak. I thought Iron Man's ending was... I thought it was good. And I liked that Nebula was in it a lot. And that's my little mini review. So, moving on to my next one. Top 3. Number 3, Toy Story 4. Year of Surprises. You could not have convinced me before I went to see that film that there was any way that film could be good after having a perfect trilogy, or a near perfect trilogy. I was like, there's no way the fourth one's going to be good, or even anywhere near as good. And although I still don't think it's as good as the first 3, it is very close in quality, and it is actually it's the actual story is very much an epilogue. It isn't, or like a new chapter. It isn't continuing the story from the first 3. It's kind of starting a new one, which does mean we suffer because most of the characters from the first 3 movies are barely in it. Only Woody and Bo are really in it a lot, and Buzz is in it a lot, but I will say his storyline is by far the biggest weakness of the film. But all the new characters were fun. I think part of its high ranking is also just how surprisingly good it was, because I had really low expectations going into that film. Oh, and the scene, that nightmare scene at the end where the 2 teddies get really large and terrorize that place, that, me and my friend Lana, I don't think I've ever had such a horrifying experience in a cinema before. Like, we were both like shrinking into our seats, like covering our mouths, just like hiding away from what was happening. We were both terrified. Like, it... and I would just always commend that an animated family film had me more scared than It Chapter 2. Joker is number 2. I really liked it. That is probably perhaps the only film from 2019 that I genuinely am considering re-reviewing for the YouTube channel, because I think I need to express my thoughts about that. So I'll probably do that maybe towards Halloween. Maybe we'll do like a little spooky thing. A 1-year anniversary. It was just so well made. And I think the second major problem, the second act is a bit boring, and I feel like nothing much changes with the characters. I feel like that means the film is a bit too long. But especially in the second half, some of the shots are absolutely gorgeous. I think the writing is really good. I think Joaquin Phoenix, his performance, I think, is undeniably amazing. I love Robert De Niro in it. Zazie Beetz was also really good as the love interest. The reveals, like they kept coming at you. There's uncertainty about different things, but I liked it. The talk show scene, just the line, "You get what you deserve." I think, although I do, and again, I probably, if I do, this is one of the reasons I want to do a video about it and get my thoughts about it, is I understand there are problems with the message this film presents. I personally took it a more positive way, and that the message is just be kind, because he is an example of what can happen when we're not kind. It's not, I didn't find the film, I think I understand why people see that. Like, it's one of the things, although I personally didn't see it, I'm also like, it teeters a little bit. So I understand why a lot of people see it's like, oh, justifying like white men killing people. But I saw it as the film being like this. Yeah, you sympathise with him, but by the end of the film, he has become a killer. He's become ruthless because society has changed him into this. And it's not necessarily taking blame away from him, but it's kind of pointing out that he is not completely solely to blame. Like, he makes the choice to kill people, but like there are other problems in the world. And I also think the way they worked Bruce Wayne into that story was amazing. So again, I spent quite a long segment on that film, which is why I wanted to review it. And my favourite film of the year, come at me, Frozen 2. I'll fight you on it. Fisticuffs. I've never fought anyone in my life. Would you believe it? I will die on this hill. Frozen 2 is the best film of the year. And it was the last one I actually saw of the year, because I saw Star Wars on the 1st of January 2020. So, last film I saw of the year was the best film of the year. Said it, the songs, apart from the first song, The songs were really good. Not the first, not the lullaby, the like the opening, like, what was the thing about Change It? I can't remember that. I can't even remember the tune of it. And the first 10 minutes generally aren't the best, but once you get past that, it just is it keeps going. The ending is great. I think everything about it's great. Looks great, and I love it. I love it. I don't care. So that's my ranking of the 2019 films that I watched. I have a lot more to see. I've been very naughty. I've actually, perhaps of any year in the last few, I didn't see very many movies from 2019 at all. And it's just because I'm too busy with like life and other things. And I swear I will see Parasite at some point and I will review it. I swear, please. So thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. According to my YouTube studio thing, I've got 8 subscribers since I started this channel, which to me is a full-blown success. Like, yeah, I still have one video that I released like a week ago that has 0 views. My review for the Destruction. I'm not bitter. I'm not bitter. But yeah, I'm just blown away by the support. So thank you guys for watching. The amount of bits of me blowing my nose I had to cut out this video, you wouldn't believe. You wouldn't understand the pain that I have gone through for you guys. And I've got to film another video. Would you believe it? My leg's gone dead as well. Oh.